Hello everyone and welcome to Leo English Story. I'm John, and I'll be your host today. I want to share with you one of the most fascinating ways to improve your English, even when you're not awake. Yes, today's topic is learn English while sleeping. I know, it sounds like a dream, right? Learning a language while doing nothing, just resting. But this isn't just a fantasy. In fact, many studies have shown that your brain remains active during sleep, and it can process sounds and even learn patterns. It's called sleep learning, or in scientific terms, hypnopedia. Now, let's be clear, you won't wake up tomorrow speaking perfect English just because you listen to a podcast in your sleep. But, what you can do is reinforce vocabulary, improve pronunciation, and make your brain more comfortable with English. It's like giving your brain gentle practice while you rest. Think about this. How much time do you spend sleeping every night? 6 to 8 hours. That's almost a third of your day. If you could use just a portion of that time to listen to English, your exposure to the language would increase a lot. And the best part, you don't need to do anything difficult. No grammar exercises. No speaking tests. You just need a quiet place to sleep, a pair of headphones or speakers, and English audio made especially for sleep learning. Sounds simple, right? In today's episode, I'll explain how it works, what types of English content are best for sleep learning, and how to combine this method with your regular study routine. I'll also share some of my personal results and tips. We'll cover how your brain works during sleep, what you can and cannot learn while sleeping, best audio content to listen to at night, how to create the perfect sleep learning routine, mistakes to avoid when using this method, real results in combining sleep learning with daytime practice. So, if you're curious, or just want to try something new, this episode is perfect for you. Let's discover the secret world of learning English while sleeping. Alright, are you ready? Let's begin. Let's start with an amazing fact. Your brain is never truly off. Even while you're sleeping, your brain stays active. It processes memories, stores new information, and reacts to sounds around you. This is the reason why some people can wake up when they hear their name during sleep, or why certain noises can affect your dreams. Scientists have discovered that the brain goes through different stages of sleep. There are two main types: REM sleep, rapid eye movement, and non-REM sleep. Each type has different functions. During non-REM sleep, especially in the lighter stages, your brain is more likely to process simple sounds and information. This is when sleep learning can happen. So what happens in your brain during these stages? In deep sleep, your body and brain are resting, but your brain still has activity. It organizes what you learned during the day, moves memories from short-term to long-term storage, and can even make new connections. This is why getting good sleep is essential for learning in general, not just language. During lighter sleep or early non-REM stages, your brain can still receive sound input. This is when you might hear a voice or a song and include it in your dream. Sleep researchers have used this moment to test language learning. In one study, people listened to word pairs in a foreign language while sleeping. Later, they remembered some of the pairs, even though they never studied them while awake. Amazing, right? But let's be clear, your brain is not learning complex grammar rules while you sleep. You won't master English tenses or write perfect essays in your dreams. What you can do is reinforce what you've already studied. For example, hearing basic phrases like, "Good morning," "How are you?" or vocabulary like, "apple," "red," helps your brain become familiar with English rhythm and pronunciation. Sleep learning is most effective when it supports what you learn during the day. If you study 20 words during the day, and then listen to those same words in your sleep, your brain may remember them better. It's like review without effort. Also, your brain responds well to repetition. That's why the best sleep audio includes repeated vocabulary, clear pronunciation, and slow pace. You don't want loud or fast English. It will disturb your sleep instead of helping. A calm voice, gentle background music, and basic phrases are ideal. Another benefit is accent exposure. Listening to native speakers while you sleep can help your ears adjust to English sounds. This doesn't replace active listening, but it adds extra input. Over time, your pronunciation and listening comprehension improve. It's important to remember that sleep learning is not magic. It's a tool, a bonus method that adds to your main study routine. You still need to practice speaking, reading, and writing while awake. But adding audio learning to your sleep hours is like adding extra vitamins to your learning diet. So, in short, here's how your brain helps you learn during sleep. It processes and stores daytime information. It can react to sounds during light sleep. It strengthens memory through repetition. It increases comfort with English pronunciation and rhythm. In the next part, we'll look at what exactly you can and cannot learn during sleep, and how to make sure you're using your time wisely. Now that you understand how your brain works during sleep, let's talk about what it can actually learn, and what it can't. The idea of sleep learning has been around for a long time. Some people think they can just play a long English lesson during the night and magically wake up fluent. But that's not exactly true. Your brain has its limits, especially while you're sleeping. So, what can you really learn? First, your brain can remember simple vocabulary and basic word pairs. If you hear apple, red, or dog bark repeatedly while you sleep, your brain might connect these words and remember them better the next day. This works best when you already studied these words during the day. Second, your brain can improve its recognition of pronunciation. Even if you're not awake, your ears are still listening. When you hear native English speakers pronouncing words correctly over and over again, your brain starts to recognize how the language sounds. This helps with your listening skills later. Third, sleep learning can help with rhythm and intonation. English has a unique melody. Some words are stressed more than others. Sentences go up and down in sound. When you hear natural speech while you sleep, your brain gets used to this musical pattern, which helps when you speak. Now let's talk about what your brain cannot learn while sleeping. You cannot learn complicated grammar rules. If you play an audio lesson about present perfect tense and conditional forms, your sleeping brain won't be able to process that. These topics require focus, understanding, and practice. You need to be awake to learn them well. You also won't be able to practice conversation. Sleep learning is a one-way method. You're listening, but not speaking. So while it can help with input, listening and vocabulary, it won't help with output, speaking and writing. And don't expect to memorize long sentences or complex dialogues. Your brain can process short, repeated messages, but not full chapters of a book. That would overwhelm your sleeping brain and disturb your rest. Here's a helpful list. What you can learn while sleeping. Basic vocabulary you already studied. Word pairs or translations. Correct pronunciation. English rhythm and tone. What you cannot learn while sleeping. Grammar rules and explanations. Long reading texts or dialogues. Speaking or writing skills. Completely new and complex topics. So, how should you use this information? Choose your sleep learning content carefully. Pick short, simple, and clear English audio. Use vocabulary that you already know a little. Repeat the same list for a few nights. Don't try to learn everything at once. Also, combine this with daytime learning. Study vocabulary when you're awake, and then use the same audio while you sleep. This creates a connection between your active and passive brain. Over time, you'll notice it becomes easier to remember and use the words. Sleep learning should never replace your daily practice, but it can be a powerful extra tool. It's a way to use your sleeping hours to continue learning, slowly, gently, and passively. In the next part, we'll look at the best types of audio content to use at night for effective sleep learning, and how to make sure you're using your time wisely. Now that you understand how your brain works during sleep, let's talk about what it can actually learn, and what it can't. The idea of sleep learning has been around for a long time. Some people think they can just play a long English lesson during the night and magically wake up fluent. But that's not exactly true. Your brain has its limits, especially while you're sleeping. So, what can you really learn? First, your brain can remember simple vocabulary and basic word pairs. If you hear apple, red, or dog bark repeatedly while you sleep, your brain might connect these words and remember them better the next day. This works best when you already studied these words during the day. Second, your brain can improve its recognition of pronunciation. Even if you're not awake, your ears are still listening. When you hear native English speakers pronouncing words correctly over and over again, your brain starts to recognize how the language sounds. This helps with your listening skills later. Third, sleep learning can help with rhythm and intonation. English has a unique melody. Some words are stressed more than others. Sentences go up and down in sound. When you hear natural speech while you sleep, your brain gets used to this musical pattern, which helps when you speak. Now let's talk about what your brain cannot learn while sleeping. You cannot learn complicated grammar rules. If you play an audio lesson about present perfect tense and conditional forms, your sleeping brain won't be able to process that. These topics require focus, understanding, and practice. You need to be awake to learn them well. You also won't be able to practice conversation. Sleep learning is a one-way method. You're listening, but not speaking. So while it can help with input, listening and vocabulary, it won't help with output, speaking and writing. And don't expect to memorize long sentences or complex dialogues. Your brain can process short, repeated messages, but not full chapters of a book. That would overwhelm your sleeping brain and disturb your rest. Here's a helpful list. What you can learn while sleeping. Basic vocabulary you already studied. Word pairs or translations. Correct pronunciation. English rhythm and tone. What you cannot learn while sleeping. Grammar rules and explanations. Long reading texts or dialogues. Speaking or writing skills. Completely new and complex topics. So, how should you use this information? Choose your sleep learning content carefully. Pick short, simple, and clear English audio. Use vocabulary that you already know a little. Repeat the same list for a few nights. Don't try to learn everything at once. Also, combine this with daytime learning. Study vocabulary when you're awake, and then use the same audio while you sleep. This creates a connection between your active and passive brain. Over time, you'll notice it becomes easier to remember and use the words. Sleep learning should never replace your daily practice, but it can be a powerful extra tool. It's a way to use your sleeping hours to continue learning, slowly, gently, and passively. In the next part, we'll look at the best types of audio content to use at night for effective sleep learning, and how to make sure you're using your time wisely. Choosing the right kind of English content to listen to while you sleep is very important. Not all audio is good for sleep learning. If it's too fast, too loud, or too complex, it can wake you up or confuse your brain. So, let's talk about what types of content are best for nighttime listening, and how to choose the right one for your level. First, the most effective type of sleep audio is slow and repetitive vocabulary. For example, an audio file that repeats simple English words or phrases, apple, 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 red apple. This kind of structure helps your brain connect sounds and meanings easily. You can find many free audio tracks online that focus on beginner or intermediate vocabulary with gentle voices. Second, English phrases with translations are very effective. For example, you hear, good morning, bonjour, or I am hungry, je suis faim. This is especially helpful for learners who already speak another language and want to build bridges between the two. These bilingual phrases help reinforce vocabulary without needing full attention. Another great type of content is guided sleep meditations in English. These are relaxing and help you sleep better while also introducing you to English rhythm, vocabulary about feelings and the body, and soft sentence structures. For example, breathe in deeply. You are calm. Let your thoughts go. These slow, comforting sentences help train your ear. You can also use storytelling or bedtime stories for learners. These are short, simple stories read in slow, clear English. They're especially good for people at the A2 or B1 level. You can hear natural sentence structure and vocabulary in a relaxing way. Don't choose complicated novels, pick easy English stories made for learners. Here are the types of content you can look for. Best audio content for sleep learning. Simple vocabulary lists, repeated. Phrase plus translation audio. Guided meditations or relaxations. Slow spoken English stories. Audio created for A1, B1 learners. Audio to avoid. Fast native English conversations. Grammar-heavy lessons. Noisy or dramatic audio. Long podcasts with many different speakers. Music with lyrics can confuse your brain. If you're using a streaming platform like YouTube, Spotify, or a language app, look for titles like English Vocabulary for Sleep. Learn English phrases in your sleep. English Bedtime Stories. Guided Sleep Meditation in English. Make sure the audio is at least 30 minutes long, or looped. You don't want to wake up in the middle of the night because the audio stopped suddenly. Set your device to Do Not Disturb so you aren't interrupted by notifications. You can also use a sleep timer. Finally, try to listen to the same audio for several nights in a row. Repetition helps your brain remember. Change the content only when you feel you've already absorbed most of it. You'll be surprised how many words stick in your head just from gentle nighttime listening. In the next part, we'll look at how to build a complete and relaxing sleep learning routine, one that really works. Now that you know what kind of audio works best for sleep learning, it's time to talk about creating a routine. A good routine helps your body relax, your mind focus, and your learning become more effective, even when you're not awake. Let's start with your sleep environment. Your bedroom should be a calm and quiet place. Remove any distractions like bright lights, loud clocks, or devices that might beep in the night. Use blackout curtains or an eye mask if necessary. The more relaxed you are, the better your brain can absorb sounds during sleep. Next, choose the right time to start your sleep learning session. Experts recommend starting the audio just before you fall asleep. This is when your brain is entering the first light stages of non-REM sleep, the most receptive time for sleep learning. Use a timer to delay the audio by 5 to 10 minutes if you need time to settle down in bed. Now let's look at your audio setup. Use a small Bluetooth speaker or sleep headphones. Don't use loud volume, keep it soft and calm. The audio should blend into the background. You don't want it to wake you up or cause dreams that are too intense. Choose one track and let it repeat through the night, or for at least 1 to 2 hours. One important part of the routine is repetition. Use the same audio track for at least 5 nights in a row. Why? Because your brain needs repeated exposure to truly remember and internalize new sounds and words. Changing the track every night reduces the effect. Also, try to match the sleep content with your daytime learning. For example, if you studied vocabulary about food during the day, listen to a sleep track about food vocabulary that night. This creates a strong connection between what you learned while awake and what your brain hears while you sleep. Here's an ideal sleep learning routine. Prepare your space, quiet room, comfortable bed, dim lights. Do light review, spend 10 minutes reviewing some vocabulary you want to reinforce. Set up your audio, choose your track, test the volume, start playing it with a timer. Relax and sleep, take deep breaths, stay calm, and let your brain do the rest. Repeat regularly, use the same track each night for 1 week. In the morning, don't forget to do a quick self-check. Ask yourself, do I remember any words from the night before? Did the audio help me sleep better or worse? Am I feeling more confident with those phrases? You might not notice big results after one night, but after several days, many learners say they feel more familiar with certain words and more comfortable hearing English. You can even make a simple learning journal. Every morning, write down 3 words or phrases that come to mind, whether you dream them or just feel like you remember them. This helps track your progress. Sleep learning is all about consistency and comfort. If you create a routine that is relaxing and regular, your brain will begin to associate English with peace and rest, making your language journey smoother. In the next part, we'll look at the mistakes to avoid when trying to learn English while sleeping. Even though sleep learning is a powerful method, it's easy to make mistakes that can reduce its effectiveness. Let's look at some common problems that many learners face, and how you can avoid them. Mistake 1. Choosing difficult audio. One of the biggest mistakes is using content that is too advanced. If your audio contains fast speech, heavy grammar, or complex topics, your brain won't understand it while you sleep. This can confuse your mind or even disturb your rest. Always choose simple, clear, and slow English. If the content is too hard for you when you're awake, it will be even harder when you're sleeping. Mistake 2. Using loud volume. Another common mistake is playing the audio too loud. You might think, the louder it is, the better I'll hear it, but this can actually hurt your sleep. Your brain will become too alert, and you might wake up more often. Use a low and soft volume that blends into the background. It should feel calming and peaceful, not noisy or aggressive. Mistake 3. Changing audio every night. Many people like variety, so they change their sleep audio every night. But your brain needs repetition to remember new words. If you listen to different content each night, your brain has to start over again and again. Choose one topic or one track and repeat it for several nights before moving on. Mistake 4. Skipping daytime learning. Sleep learning is not a magic solution. It cannot replace regular study. If you only use sleep learning without any daytime practice, your progress will be very slow. Combine both methods, study during the day, then reinforce the same content during the night. This gives your brain a full learning experience. Mistake 5. Using random music or sounds. Some learners use music with lyrics or random videos that include English, but lyrics often include slang, fast speech, or unclear pronunciation. Plus, music can distract you from real learning. Always choose educational content designed for English learners, especially A1 to B1 level. Mistake 6. Expecting fast results. Learning takes time. Sleep learning helps reinforce what you already know, but it won't make you fluent overnight. Don't feel frustrated if you don't see big changes after a few nights. Be patient, keep your routine and trust the process. Here's a quick checklist of what not to do. Don't use complex grammar audio. Don't play your audio too loud. Don't change content every night. Don't skip daily English practice. Don't expect big results in one night. And here's what you should do. Keep it simple. Use calm, soft audio. Repeat tracks over several nights. Combine sleep learning with study. Be consistent and patient. By avoiding these mistakes, you make your sleep learning more effective and more enjoyable. You'll feel more confident every day, and English will become a natural part of your thoughts, even while you dream. In the next part, we'll explore how to combine sleep learning with active learning during the day, and how real learners use this method to improve faster. You now know how to set up a great sleep learning routine, but what happens when you combine it with regular daytime practice? That's where the real magic happens. Let's talk about how to link your day and night learning, and what kind of results real learners like you have experienced. First, remember this key idea: sleep learning alone is not enough. It's a support tool, not the main method. You still need to study during the day, but when you combine sleep learning with active practice, your progress can become faster and more natural. Let's take an example. Imagine you are learning vocabulary about food. In the morning, you study words like bread, apple, chicken, water, hungry, eat. You write them, read them, and say them aloud. Later, while you sleep, you listen to audio that repeats these words slowly: apple, red apple, eat apple. Your brain hears the same words again and again, gently reinforcing them. By the next day, you feel more confident. You recognize the words faster. You pronounce them more clearly. This is because your brain had time to review them in a peaceful state during the night. Many learners who tried this method report improved memory of common vocabulary, better pronunciation and listening skills, increased confidence when speaking, less fear of making mistakes in English. Now let's talk about how to link your day and night learning. Plan your daily lesson. Choose a topic, like jobs, travel, emotions, etc., and study the vocabulary, short sentences, or key phrases. Practice actively. Say the words, write short sentences, and listen to them during the day. Prepare your audio for sleep. Find a track that repeats the same words or sentences you studied. It should be slow and relaxing. Listen while you sleep. Follow the routine you've already learned. Review in the morning. After waking up, review the same words again, even for 5 to 10 minutes. You can even try keeping a sleep learning journal. Write down what audio you listened to and how you felt in the morning. Over time, you may start noticing patterns. Some topics work better than others, or you feel stronger in certain areas. Here's a sample plan for 1 week. Monday through Tuesday. Day, learn 10 vocabulary words about travel. Night, audio about travel words plus example phrases. Wednesday through Thursday. Day, learn food vocabulary plus verbs, eat, cook, buy. Night, audio with food and verb phrases. Friday through Saturday. Day, learn emotions and simple adjectives, happy, tired, excited. Night, relaxing sleep story with emotional vocabulary. Sunday. Review everything, no pressure, just check what you remember. When you combine active learning with passive nighttime review, you're giving your brain 2 strong chances to absorb the information. Your conscious mind works during the day, and your unconscious mind helps process and review during the night. And guess what? After a few weeks, English will start to feel more familiar, almost like a second language. You may start thinking of simple words without translating. You may understand songs, movies, or conversations more easily. So, yes, learning English while sleeping is not a myth, but to make it truly powerful, you need to use it with your regular studies. Together, they create a strong system that works for every learner, even busy people who don't have a lot of time. Next, I'll give you a final summary and conclusion to help you start your sleep learning journey today. Learning English while sleeping is not a fantasy. It is a helpful technique, not a complete solution, but a strong support. Over this episode, we explored the science, the tools, the mistakes, and the real success stories behind this method. We began by understanding how your brain works during sleep. Even when you are resting, your brain can still process sounds and recognize familiar patterns. This creates an opportunity, not to master English in your dreams, but to give your brain a gentle and peaceful review of the words, phrases, and pronunciation you already know. Then, we looked at what is and is not possible while you sleep. Complex grammar, no. Long conversations, no. But simple words, clear phrases, and calm audio, yes. These can help your brain feel more comfortable with English, especially if they match what you study during the day. We also talked about how to choose the right kind of audio. Slow vocabulary tracks, English with translation, bedtime stories, or guided meditations. These are all excellent options. What matters most is clarity, repetition, and calm delivery. Stay away from noisy or difficult content. Your sleep learning routine matters too. A quiet room, a relaxed body, soft audio, and a consistent schedule will help you get the best results. Sleep learning is not about doing more, it's about doing the right things in the right way. And remember, the biggest mistake is thinking that sleep learning replaces daytime learning. It doesn't. You need both. When you study in the day and reinforce at night, you create a full circle system that works better than either method alone. We also saw what real learners experience: better memory, faster word recall, clearer pronunciation, and higher confidence. If you're patient and consistent, you can get the same results. So what should you do now? Start small. Choose 10 to 15 English words you want to improve. Study them during the day, write, read, and say them. Find a gentle audio track that repeats those words. Listen to it every night for a week. In the morning, review. Write what you remember. Repeat this every week with new words or phrases. Over time, English will become more natural, like a voice in your head that speaks with confidence. This is the real secret, the power of quiet, gentle, regular practice. Use your sleep to help your brain, not just your body. Thank you for joining Leo English Story today. I'm John, and I hope this episode helps you take a new step in your language journey. Sweet dreams, and happy learning.